Hi, everybody. Well, it's almost 6 a.m. for me. It's almost 6 a.m. in the morning. Hello. And yes, I am sleepy. I am tired. But I can't sleep anyway, so I was like, okay, let me just stream. Let me just record a video, whatever. Okay, so here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Isn't that amazing? You, me, yeah, you at any time you can watch this. Me at 6 a.m. in the morning. Well, to be fair, I had planned to stream many hours ago, but I got distracted by some task plus reading some books, more like mangas. I got very distracted. I didn't expect myself to be so invested in the story I was reading. So yeah. Anyway, I really I really wish I could tell you about some of the things that maybe I'm gonna do a reading stream, or like quiet reading stream, as in, like, I'm just reading quietly, some background music playing, and then have suddenly like there's this funny like ambient noise video that I do enjoy it. It's funny, so to me at least. But it's like a 10-hour long thing, and it's like just a silent video, silent video, sometimes disturbed, or sometimes sometimes disturbed by pigment noises or by any other like weird noises. But I think there was this one with the pigment noises that I have saved, and I know that there's other ones existing. But imagine, yeah, it's a quiet stream, so just background music, uh me just reading a book quietly, and sometimes I'm just like doing commentary on like whatever I'm reading, and then at the end you have my review of the book. Wouldn't that be fun? The thing is, I have a little project with all of my books, because I have so many books that I need to read, and some of the books that I don't want to keep anymore. I mean, it's great, it looks nice, I have color coded and everything else, but some of them are just really not my thing anymore. Plus, I don't know if I would give them away or just make something out of them, because I just also know that I have very old books, and when I say old books, I will like take you by the hand and show you my age a little bit. Back then, books used to have an ISBN number. They still have it, but back then it was just a number. It was just ISBN, and then the number. No barcode, nothing. Actually, I might have a book here where it's literally on, like, a very old book. And I mean, of course, the even older books have nothing at the back, like no ISBN number at all. This, for example, is a children's book. Yeah, this is nothing. This literally has nothing. Yes, it's a German book. I have a lot of German. Listen, guys, I'm German, okay? But this one has, for example, nothing. And I just have a lot of children's books, because, of course, from being a tall little wee child to now, I have a collection of books. So that is why I'm like, okay, like, I don't know, like, I don't like the possibility of me keeping these books for the possibility of something else further in my life would be very, very low. So maybe it's best to just, do a little cute little read aloud, or like reading stories to people, whatever. Like, I mean, sometimes I do this doing streams as well. It's just that the public domain books, of course, I can read them and keep them on. It's just not the other ones. But as I said, it will probably, if you ever see a video up, it's probably because it's one. I actually thought about cutting it down and just adding the commentary, and then the review of the book, but the stream would just be like silent music and then just reading it and commenting on whatever I'm reading. So anyway, that's not what I'm here today. As you can see, I have quite the things in the bag, and I gotta do something about all of this here, okay? No, I mean my headspace, because it's 6 a.m. and I can't sleep. Even though I'm sleepy, I feel restless. I've been feeling a little bit numb recently, just a lot of things happening, just lot of thoughts, just a lot of things, and like just a lot of things. And I have to tell you, I mean, you've probably felt this as well quite often. It's a normal thing in your life as a human being, you know. That when you have times where you feel numb or like in survival mode, going through the motions, being on autopilot, whatever, just doing the things, but feeling more and more like a shell of yourself, when things just become more and more exhausting and just too much and overwhelming, it is very important to, one, of course, step back just for a little bit, take off some, at least let's say three things, take off from all these three main things at least one, right? Social life, take out, like, let's say one friend that you do have to say like, hey, I'm so sorry, I cannot see you, I have not been feeling good. And then at the same time, add to that something good, as in like, okay, one friend where you're gonna be like, okay, listen, I've had a bad time and just like I feel the safest with you. Not to say that I don't feel good with, you can see that I'm not saying safe, right? This is not to no disrespect to anybody, but it's just like, it's normal when you have friends, a lot of people around you that are not just friends, but maybe also more acquaintances or anything else. Sometimes it's just, it doesn't mean it. Listen, if you think it's something personal, I love the fact that I'm, of course, is always lagging. If you think it's something personal that somebody doesn't feel safe around you, first of all, yes, maybe it is something personal. You need to think and reflect upon yourself a little bit more to figure out why somebody else doesn't feel safe around you. And not just like, it's different when if it's just one person. If it's a lot more people, that's different. Are you even feeling safe with yourself? Have you looked at yourself? You know, okay, first of all, yes. Even if somebody doesn't feel, even if, sorry, I was waiting for my connection to come back. Even if somebody doesn't feel safe with you and expresses that, or you hear it around, whatever, it doesn't matter, okay? Whatever it is, yes, it might be because of you, because of them as well, because of me, right? It's vice versa. It's both ways. There's no way that's just one person. In, I think, of feeling safe within a relationship with somebody, in a connection with somebody. The thing is, don't take it personal, even though it is something that has also something involved with you. Which means, okay, just accept the fact that somebody doesn't feel safe with you, but that does not diminish the fact who you are, that you are still a person, allowed to have friends, allowed to have people around them, allowed to be loved, all these type of things. Not only that, but there's no such thing as not allowing yourself to, like, love or whatever, because you are already love, you're walking love. Okay, it's just that if you restrict that too much and have other people restrict that, it's gonna be hard. But more on that in a different time. Okay, this is not talks about love right now. I could go on and on and on, let me tell you that. But as I said, except that it has nothing to do with, it has not nothing to do with you very deeply, and just let it go. Like, okay, I can maybe understand why they don't feel safe with me. Mm. I know people that probably don't feel safe with me because of many reasons that I can think about, but also because, well, many reasons I can think about. If I were to give you an example, it's literally the thing that I'm doing right now, talking and talking, and you who's watching, who doesn't know me, you hear certain things and you're like, ah, what is this person saying? Blah 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 blah. But you know there's still some truth behind that, isn't there? You know, so that's why people don't feel most people don't feel safe around me, because I do challenge quite the world views in somebody's eyes and soul. So yeah, here we are. And the same goes out for me, you know. But I do like it. That's different, I guess. But anyway, I do hope also that my mic is picking it up what I'm saying, but I can't see that it is, because one time I'm streaming and it didn't pick up anything and it was muted because apparently I didn't turn on the microphone. So it's good to see that the microphone was on. But yes, so coming back to the three things, right? You take one thing out, put back one thing that makes you feel safe, and would and does help you feel better. Because if you feel like ass, listen, no, we're not doing that about like pulling back, fully isolating. No, listen, there's a difference between saying like, I need space, I need a little bit of like self-care, I need time for myself, and fully isolating, right? Okay, because if you were to really be like, okay, let me have some time for myself, you would, one, understand the fact that you need to rest and rejuvenate your body. You need to understand to give time for your body to also heal in some way, because one big thing is stress also appearing on your body, right? For example, the face getting a bit more puffier or whatever. Of course that happens when you have too much salty stuff or sugary things, but that's also the thing about stress. Your diet changes, and as I said, a lot of things change. It's cortisol. So what do you do when you have a lot of cortisol? You gotta like counteract it by doing something for your health, because that is your health. So of course, if you were to be like, okay, let me tell you, really, like, I really do appreciate you as a friend, and I do want to be around you and to be with you and blah 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 blah, but I really do need my own space right now. Yeah, sometimes if I'm like waiting, if you see me waiting for something, it's because my connection is cutting out and I'm like waiting for you to come back. Anyway, um um but anyway, sometimes it's just that you need to really be like, okay, I need to sleep, I need to sleep more, I need to have a full day where I'm just doing the bare minimum of chores and just do the things that I really like or miss doing because I couldn't do them. For example, for me it would be playing games. For me it would be reading a book. Actually, I haven't read something in a very long time, so me actually doing something for my mental health is quite, I was like, wow, can't believe I'm reading a book again, and it feels so good. It feels so good. It is self-care. Yes, it is also self-care not to isolate and still talk to your friends and talk to the people around you is very important as well. As I said, not to isolate, but you need to know and discern it for yourself. Know yourself enough to be like, okay, this amount of distance that I want right now is not going to make my social relationship worse or my health worse because I'm not participating in connections with people, right? So, yeah, as I said, at least pick one person and be like, hey, like a little bit of connection, yeah. Family also does also counts, but it's important to also have a friend to be like, okay, whatever. Or just in general, some community. But without having to be like extremely like, oh, I my voice, I'm solo. As I said, isolation is not the thing. Taking care of yourself, of your mental health means discerning how much social needs you gotta figure out for yourself to be like, okay, this is what I need. But also, like, as I said, don't take it too personal. Somebody else will not take it personal when you're gonna be like, oh, let me like take some time for myself, right? Because I see that very often, see that a lot of times where people are like, also where I'm talking, let me just do my task, okay? I'm setting up this so that I have some surface to be doing my things and you see it. So, isn't that genius? Anyway, because I see, as I said, I see it way too often, where people are like, oh yeah, let me just have some space, or like not say anything at all. And I'm also the candidate for that. I don't say anything at all sometimes, but I think it's also because there are people where I'm like, I don't even feel safe enough with you to be actually communicating that. Like, even if I were to communicate with you like that, especially because I didn't see you as somebody I really like and want to be, and you are a close friend, I think it's still a matter of. Also, let me put this on somewhere. I hope you can still hear me when I'm talking. Yeah. I I just hope that there's still gonna be an understanding of the fact that no, basically just like, even if you need your space, somebody else will realize that you do need some space and not take flack for it. You know what I mean? And even if they are used to you having times where you're like, oh, let me just take some time for myself, or you're suddenly quiet or whatever, how come, like, it's simply not enough to just ask, how are you doing? Yeah. And honestly, right now for me, I'm kind of going through. I mean, honestly speaking, yeah. If we're talking about we had the blue moon. Literally, we had the full moon in Sagittarius, and it meant quite a lot of transformation for a lot of people in general. Like a lot of people, and yes, here on this channel we talk about a variety of things, including astrology and anything spiritual. Guys, please figure, be smart, okay? Be smart about this. I don't care. You leave, you go, whatever. You do you. Um, but yeah. Um, and in general, like it just meant a lot of transformation. Something ending, and you can still feel it. You can still feel that. Whether you believe in it or not. The thing is, for me, it's not just. It's people are just always very dismissive about like astrology, where I'm like, you know that astrology is also somewhat of a science, right? Because of astronomy. Yeah. something I were to tell you is that a lot of patterns don't lie. But yeah, it's just more of the have you figured it out yet type of thing. So yeah. Where was I? Sorry, where was I? Anyway, going back to the thing of friends, whatever, like this, I'm gonna save it for like fully for another time because I do have quite a lot of things to say about that topic in general. Simply out of my speaking out of my own experiences and my own feelings. Okay, if this stuff, what I say, doesn't resonate with you because you're gonna disagree fully on it with me, you need to leave it and let it go, and maybe go somewhere else, or let it sit just a little bit because maybe it has some type of weight that you need to hear. And if you still don't like it, you can be like, okay, I don't like that weight. Into the sea you go. Okay, like why are you collecting rocks that you cannot carry? Honey, my dearest party people, why are you collecting rocks you cannot carry? Listen, as a girl who likes collecting pebbles, and I'm talking pebbles in every shape, size, and form, collecting stones. I don't even keep all of my stones. From a little kid, as a little kid, I like collecting stones. Sometimes I'd be going home from on a rainy day after school and be like, the pebbles! Look at this one, it's glittering. Yeah, but the thing is, from that time till now, I don't think I have any saved still. I do have some stones and pebbles, but I don't think I've kept all of them. Actually, I did probably remove most of them, also because, yeah, because, wait, why? Time changes, certain things like that. But yeah, as I said, my dearest, why are you keeping all the rocks and pebbles that you cannot carry anymore, or you cannot even recognize its meaning to you anymore? Why would you do that? Give them to the sea. Like, give them to the sea, give them back to the earth, okay? Or, no, don't even, unless that stone, as I said, that rock is not really special to you, only really consider giving it to somebody else as a gift because you think it's fun. Only consider it giving it as a gift to somebody because you think, I can draw a little face on it and be like, this is for you. I was thinking about you when I was painting that rock. You know? Because, as I said, even your little pebble that you were thinking about was so meaningful, you give it to somebody, they're gonna be like, what am I supposed to do with this rock? I'm just gonna drop it. So this is the same thing that's happening here. If you think that my rock I'm giving to you is meaningless, why would you keep it? Why would you keep it? You know? Anyway, going back, just a little here and there, cause man, I've gone through some things of, me approaching all of this again as well. One, because it's almost gonna turn a year that I started streaming, that I started doing YouTube again, that I wanted to take action upon sailing this ship as far as I can on the horizon. You know why? Because I'm Horizon. Yeah. But yeah. And of course, the grief is also really playing into it because for me, the grief is just there. It all started with my father passing away very suddenly. Very sadly, it came out of such a thing. But I think I take that with a lot of honor that something in me moved so much so that I couldn't stand by my life anymore. And that means quite a lot as somebody who just had stood by my own side for way too long. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, also I want to show you. I don't think I've ever. I was at the 1OK Rock concert. Okay, it was last year, and I also have 2 shirts here somewhere. I think, because I'm also trying to. Yeah, let me show you, because I think they're cute. It's this one. I think I've worn this on stream once before. It's this one. Look at this. Isn't this cute? With the tutors, with the detox thing, and I just love every album. Okay, I do really like the detox album as well. I think it was very befitting of whatever time I was going through, which is wow. So, and the other thing is, oh my god, listen, it took me almost more than 15 years to ever get to watch them like at a concert. And oh my god, I cannot tell you my experience. First of all, the acoustics of the place that I was at was horrible, and they know they have a lot of bad reviews. The fact that they don't fix that is just saddening, honestly, because it's fine for other things. It's just like certain things are just like, why? But then again, I don't know if it is fine for the other things or not, because I was also standing there with where there was good acoustics, because only at a certain spot you would get good acoustics, and it's the weirdest thing ever. Anyway, but I cannot tell you, like, listen, I'm small. I'm a small petite woman. And let me tell you, Germans, Europeans, they are tall, and I sometimes don't realize that, okay? But when I'm at a certain event, I do really realize that. I'm like, why are you such a gigantic person? Who is 2 meters tall? What are you? What is happening? What is this? What is the story fairy tale again? The guy with the P no, that sounds wrong. the guy with the ranking thing, and the giant that comes down, goes blah 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 blah. Like, anyway. What the fuck? Yeah. And it's always somebody really tall standing in front of me suddenly. Like, I look for a good spot, and suddenly a really tall person comes up, and then at some point I was like, yeah, no, whatever. I stand there at some point, and I'm like, okay, I don't give a fuck. I'm not cussing. You don't hear that. I'm self-censoring. But you know, at some point, because first of all, the music bangers, okay? I was like rocking out, and the thing is, I get really like party, like I can't contain all of the energy. This happened at the NCT Dream concert as well. This happened at the NCT Dream concert as well. I mean, most people weren't that tall, like the people at the 1OK Rock concert, but I still had to jump around like that throughout almost the entire concert, and also I was screaming on top of my lungs. So I feel great, to the point where the people who are next to me were like, "Wow!" Like, they looked at me, they were like side-eyeing me. It was like, "Yeah, I don't care. I'm having fun. What about you?" Not only that, but I'm small. You can see a bit more than I can. Of course, I'm gonna. What am I supposed to do? Yeah. Anyway, let me show you this shirt. This is also really cute. Isn't this cute? Isn't this cute? With the bag. Yeah, but because of the way it's cut, I was thinking about like maybe cutting in some on the side and have it like open, like a side slit, so that I have it more tailored looking. I don't know. Anyway, I do have to sort out through my t-shirts anyway. I was also thinking about like decluttering a little bit, not in the way that I usually know it from, because I am somebody who sews. I'm somebody who does the DIYs. I don't like wasting things. I was talking about books earlier. You think I'm gonna waste the books? You think I'm gonna give them away? When there's like a ton of books already that nobody likes to read because they're really old. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I don't know. I wouldn't say I would destroy or repurpose all of the books, but definitely most of them because they're very old. And I've tried like putting them somewhere, giving them away, whatever, but oftentimes I just hear like, oh no, we have so many books, blah 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 blah, and I just kind of feel bad about them. So if you cannot find any other way, you just kind of repurpose them, okay? In ways that you think is sensible. But yeah, I would like to reiterate that, of course, just like always, there's no way in hell right now that I can see your chats. Imagine this is just a video playing. Because simply my setup doesn't work like that. Oop. But for you, I will think about it again, okay? For you, I will think about it to look into the chat because at least my stream. Yeah. All right. Right. All right. Anyway, so we were. Let's get sorry. Rebound. Let's get back to where I was. Was talking about the base topic right now was what you gotta do for your mental health when you're feeling numb, when you're feeling more empty, when you're feeling quite exhausted by life and just overwhelmed, right? So, one thing was dimming it down to 3 things that you take out and then put 3 things back in. The first thing was friendships. As I said, make sure to find somebody or a community or whatever, and if you can't, journaling, you are your best friend. You do not have to keep it, you do not have to show it to somebody, doesn't matter. Do it for yourself, for your own peace of mind, okay? Oh, why am I folding it like that? Oh no, this is not, actually yes, got it. So yeah, oh god, I'm so sorry about my Wi-Fi jumping. It's literally just yeah. Oh, this is what I was saying earlier. I was thinking about some changes in my streaming thing as well, and whatever, all these type of things. And the thing is, first of all, I think the issue as well that I just have is my setup because of my old AF laptop and everything else that comes with it. My CPU cannot be okay with what is happening. So that's why my picture is just lagging and glitching and just being like, but you can hear me talk clearly. Plus my Wi-Fi is just jumping around. Because I have this playing, I have this playing, It's too much. So yeah, and I really, really wish I could also do some gaming stuff. But every time I try, it doesn't work. So, or at least every time I try, it doesn't. Yeah, it's also the fact that I'm not very used to it, talking while gaming, because I'm not used to it. Maybe I need to like game with somebody else first instead of doing it alone. I don't know. It really depends, cause it depends on the game. If it's something that's really relaxing, I'm gonna just get soaked up into the not talking, just quietly doing my stuff, you know. But if it were to be a game, it's more like, oh, I gotta do so much and I gotta read so much and blah blah blah, and I have more thoughts about it. I think it's gonna be different, but whatever. Oh my god, my room is so warm. It's warm, okay. Anyway, yeah. Also, the fact that I think I got to talk with somebody, or at least let out some of my thoughts and have somebody listen to them, and give me a little bit of a tip. And I guess it was helpful to just hear it again. Because the thing is, I was struggling a little bit about my content, about what I'm actually doing, and the thing is, and will still stand that I will do a variety of things. There is no way I'm not gonna do that. There's no way I'm gonna do just one thing. I do have certain things set up for one thing, but it's simply still not very much of a thing as my main streaming channel, I would say. For YouTube it's different, or for Instagram it's very different, and it's just still very like, oh, like what do I do, because I'm managing my other things in life as well, and it's just quite a lot of things, right? Because I do have to take care of myself, of my own life, work, whatever it is, my hobbies, my dreams, and at the same time there's so many other things that are not really in that type of way, but I do them out of love, right? Out of love, in a way. So that is also a thing that kind of walks into that, and it's, I wish I could do something. I think at some point I will maybe do a separate video about it and talk, like if it pisses me off enough I'm gonna talk about it, but for now let me just not say anything about it much, because I think I still need to gather a little bit more about that in a more calm manner as well. But I know very well if it's gonna piss me off, like, again, just like always, that's when I'm gonna probably talk about it even more, because it's important for you to know how certain things work, how certain things look like, and it's just really saddening, the state of this country, the state of people just not having any brain cells. Oh my god, please. I do not listen. I do not want somebody in my space who cannot keep up with all of the things that I'm doing, as much of a variety it is. Because the thing is, some of the things are very heavy, some things are very heavy personally speaking, some things are things that will probably challenge you in many ways, some things are more entertaining, and some things are just like, yeah, whatever, just doing things, you know. And I think maybe that's the thing as well. I am my own niche. I'm slow paced, I do whatever, like, I don't care. I've reached a point where I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I am not here to compete with you right now. Okay, I'm saying right now. I'm not here to, I don't know. I'm not here to do that, because right now it's also not for me to be like, in for me to be doing that. For me right now, I'm here to establish something within myself, for myself, so that it will come to that point. And by doing that, you need to go through certain things again, just like any other job or anything else that you're starting again. But especially if I think about it as a job, because to be fair, this is my dream, not streaming in general, but many things that are connected with it. This is just like any other job. Like, it works in a similar way. It is in a similar way still a job for some people. Or if you really mean it, you gotta take it serious like one. You know, you cannot, as I said, stand beside yourself. If it's gonna be a hobby, it's gonna be a hobby, right? But then again, it doesn't have to be like a job. It's just more of a passion thing. How much do, not even a passion thing, it's more of a love thing. How much love can you put towards yourself from within yourself to be going after this, right? With the sensible decisions that you do have to take, of course. Yeah. And with knowing yourself, of course. As I said, with the sensible choices of knowing yourself. Because what would it be if you were to be like, yeah, whatever, like, you know, what? Please, you gotta think a little bit for yourself. Anyway, yeah. And it's funny because this kind of reminded me, like, something happened today, more like yesterday, and it reminded me of that, how far I've gotten. And it's funny how sometimes when you see old people from a life you've had before, how people can really just be a little marker again and a highlighter again, for you to be like, oh, this is where we at, huh? This is what we're collecting for whatever you have right now. Because oftentimes when you're like highlighting a paper, for example, you're highlighting it because it's the most important things and that you need to know about it, and then summarize it or whatever you need it for, right? Or like checkpoint in a way, like checkpoints are here to sometimes go back to them and see that there is one. There's a little marker. A checkpoint does not mean, though, that you need to go back to them every time. When it doesn't mean anything, it just means it's a marker. You can go back, but don't stand within it too long. Oh man. I know very well that the VOD is gonna be a little bit chopped because of the Wi-Fi lagging, and I see it. My normal recording is gonna be fine, but the other thing. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, I can keep getting sidetracked. Oh my god. Um, what were we talking about? So, right, the three things. The second thing would be something physical, right? Um, if, for example, your body hurts because of whatever, maybe work is just too exhausting at some point. Like, it doesn't matter how much endurance you have. how much strength you have, your body still needs rest. Okay, your body still needs rest. You gotta acknowledge that you're okay. You gotta acknowledge that, honey. Okay. Yeah, your body needs rest, no matter how much of a workout person you are or whatever endurance you have. Your body still needs rest. Okay. Your body needs to want something that heals a little bit. You know, you can't go on and on and on, because then this way your body is gonna chip away, slowly crumbling, slowly. You know, you don't want that. That's not healthy. That's not even a healthy mindset. That's quite self-destructive even. So how dare you say that it's healthy to be just going on and on and on? That's not it. That's the most important. That's the most opposite thing ever to be saying. And you would truly be lying to yourself if you were to be like, yeah, I'm healthy. You're literally not when you're crumbling apart. How many times do you think there's this guy I see on my reels, my feed sometimes, which is incredible. I love the fact that he does that. He has this basket, okay, this laundry basket, where every time it breaks, he weaves. Like he doesn't not weaves, but he like what do you call it? He sews it up with like cords or whatever. It's nice. It's fun. Um, and I saw a newer one recently where it was like in the comment section, a lot of people said, like, um, oh yeah, like at this point, just weave around it, just like it's gonna be a weaved basket or something, which I understand at some point. But the thing is, in this point stands as well from this person's point to be saying this basket of his has a lot of things to give, still a lot of things to keep on putting in there. Like it doesn't matter how, like, whatever. But yes, at a certain point, even that basket will reach a certain point in its lifetime where you will have to reinvent how you keep it together, and it will then stop ripping like that over and over again. Maybe it will break in other ways because you used a different way to like repair it, but you know, you still need to reinvent the way you were going to repair it anyway. There's so many, like, for best example is this, or is it my bag charm? Okay, my beloved Mark, my beloved Mark. I miss him. Mark, he's still with us, but I just miss him. Mark, listen, this thing, how many times did I have to glue it back on because the plastic kept falling off, the thing kept popping out, this came off, and I haven't put it back. I was so tired of it. I was like, yeah, I could probably glue it on so many times, but it won't fix it. Because I know any type of glue I use, even the ones that is suitable for this material, whatever, will inevitably fall apart. So I was like, hey, gotta do it again, reinvent it by just using some tape around it. Very a very classical repair, you know, with the tape. And now it's fine. I don't need to worry about it falling off, except this little thing, of course, the charm, because I haven't fixed that yet. But like, yeah, it happens. It happens, you know. Repair is very important for relationships, but also for yourself. So repair it is. Mental health, your own health, it doesn't matter. You gotta take your time. Oops. So the second one would have been physical. You take something away, let's say taking time by saying you're gonna stay home because you're not gonna do whatever you were doing, okay, which would be work, for example. I know not everybody has that privilege. I know not everybody is allowed to do that. I know very well. Okay. But it's enough, even if it's just 10 minutes in a day, or just 5. Okay. You listen, you got to take it into your own hands. That you need to understand that yes, you have a lot to do. There's a lot to do to be able to live. There's a lot of work you need to do. Yes, I do fully understand. But you also have to understand that there will be no life without you to live if there's not you in it, because there's no body that you will be able to walk on this planet on, you know? I'm trying to walk around this word. But yeah, because in my mind right now I'm thinking about a very very saddening story, and we hear them so many times about, like, I mean, like, even in fiction or whatever, it doesn't matter, this happens way too many times, about people sadly leaving their bodies, I would say, behind and going on with their souls somewhere, because that's where they find peace from such a busy place that is this place. As I said, I'm trying to like walk around this topic right now, but simply because I don't know about the guidelines. I mean, like, as in the guidelines when it comes to certain type of topics, you know. Because I do know that some things are censored, like, or like kind of not censored fully, but shadowed. Overshadowed, is that a word? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah. So it doesn't matter what is at stake, okay? When it comes to your financial stability and your stability of living, if there's not even a stability of you being here alive anyway, you got to take that serious. You got to build your own routine of checking up on yourself in so many ways. In so many ways. And I know it takes a lot investment within into yourself to be able to understand that, to discern that, to see these type of symptoms, to see anything, to reflect in such a way. I know it takes a lot, but please, your life is at stake. You have to understand that when it comes to your health, it is still your life at stake. And I know I can say that to a wall when it comes to certain people that feel like, yeah, I don't care, because I've been there myself many times. And let me tell you that, sadly, I do know that these words will not reach people, okay? I don't think it would have reached me back then, or even if I would be like this now, I don't think it would reach me. So I do fully understand. As I said, why carry rocks that are meaningless to you because they come from other people that you don't care about? Why carry rocks that have nothing of a weight to you? Why carry rocks that you don't even remember the meaning from? Why carry rocks that just weigh you down? Why carry them? Put them to the sea, put them to the soil, as I said. You do not have to carry them all just because somebody gives it to you. You don't have to carry all the rocks and pebbles just because they exist, okay? That is the same thing with your thoughts and worries and everything else. You do not have to carry them. You do not have to have them present and carry them just because they are there. That every thought is something very important Not every thought needs to be taken. Not every thought needs to be put action into sorry, not every thought needs to be put into action. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah. And when I say health, I'm also saying like growing out of yourself, being challenged in these type of ways, going through discomfort or uncomfortable things, and all these things, they are also a part of your health. It's a part of your health to be growing as a human being, to experience life in its ups and downs, in its ways that are very normal. That does not mean certain things should be normalized or whatever. As I said, you gotta take the pebbles that you really gotta take for yourself or not, and give them to the sea, and the sea will shape it into whatever else. Maybe break it down smaller into sand, whatever. Maybe the sea will bring that pebble that you put into the water to a different place where it can rest, far away from you, where you, when you go back to that place where you put that into water, you're just gonna stand there and be like, yeah, here I put that stone, that rock, that pebble in there. How far did it travel? How far did I go? Is it still there? Is it broken down? It doesn't matter. You can stand there all day long and ponder about it. The time still passes. The river still flows. The water still goes, you know. What are you gonna do? Anyway, let's see. Honestly, I'm actually feeling very tired. But maybe it's also because I'm standing right now. I'm gonna do this, finish that. Maybe do some journal stuff. I don't think I'm gonna do the shirts today because it does take a lot of time. I know that. That's, for example, that's a task that really takes almost the entire day. If I do change my wardrobe or whatever, go through it, it does take a whole day for me because I look at it properly and go like, oh, should I like change it? Should I re-dye it? Should I sew something out of it? Should I just whatever? What should I do? Right? Because the thing is, it's the same thing as with the garments that I've sewn or whatever. It doesn't matter. There's many things where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like the shape of this anymore. I can just re-sew it or dye it or add some beads to it or etc. etc. You know, give. And I, oh, that's a very sweet thing, a very romantic thing that I saw. There's a person that I saw online, um, like a ritual, like a little tradition, like a very sweet thing. The jewelry they have, there's times where they take all of it apart and always make new ones. Take it apart, make new ones. Take it apart, make new ones. Out of the same, take it apart, make new ones. And take it apart, make new ones. And out of the same beads, same hardware, same whatever, make something new. It doesn't matter. The shape changes, the colorway changes, but it will stay the same. It will still mean something to you. Things don't always have to be new just for something to have a clean slate of a thing happening, right? Sometimes it's just the fact that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, let me change it up, you know. I mean, when you change your hair style, when you change your style in general, it's not like you're like you're bald, you know. Okay, being worldwide here, which is very stylish on its own because it's Mr. Worldwide. It's Pitbull for it's a different thing, but um Like imagine every time you would have to change your hairstyle, you would have to truly shave it down just to get a new hairstyle. I mean, it depends. I mean, wigs and whatever is also existing, but see it as a metaphorical thing, yeah. But yeah, like for example, I did change my hair just a little bit in ways of like not. Oh, sorry, I'm covering the mic. Not in the way of having it curly, because my hair is actually straight. Yeah, unlike me, unlike me, my hair is straight. Um, but I'm queer. Okay, just so we're clear on this. um, yeah, my hair is straight, but because it only happens to be curly because I put it in a bun when I'm sleeping. Um, because I don't have any silk satin sheets or whatever. um, but yeah, like I cut just the tips, the split ends, because I was like, yeah, it's very there, present, and it bothered me quite a lot. So I was like, yeah, let me cut it. And I cut it a little bit too far to the point where it ended up being a whole haircut, whole different style. Like it's almost kind of wolf cutty with layers in it. I don't know how to explain it because it looks very different to me than it looked before when the first time I was cutting it, because I usually cut my hair myself. But yeah, as I said, physical health, put something away, which would mean like, let's say, your job, or maybe put some things away that you cannot eat. For me, it would be for, listen, I have food intolerances like lactose intolerance and fructose intolerance, and I think some slight allergies maybe. Um, And of course, you've probably heard that thing about how even if you have lactose, fructose, whatever, you're still eating it. Listen, I realized I needed to, like, I can't. It does still has a certain taste, very unique to me, and very, like, yes, impactful in a way, because it does taste good sometimes, it doesn't taste whatever, it doesn't matter. My body rejects it in any way possible by saying, I'm not craving this. I'm not I'm not consciously or subconsciously craving like anything that's cheesy or anything that's um like anything milky, anything like that. I mean, even if it is really just because I'm craving like, ah, what happened? Because I'm craving like a old milk, because I know like it's actually kind of healing to the body because it's old, you know. um because I know, yeah, it has just the healing properties, and it's really nice for like a sensitive girly stomach, you know. Anyway, but for example, fruits as well, I don't crave them. I also don't crave onions, I don't crave tomatoes, anything tomatoey, I don't really crave in that way anymore, which is funny um because fructose intolerance actually started coming up for me when I had a Rooney. um which is very like, yeah, it changed my body in this way, definitely. um which is a bit saddening, but I mean, even in the past I did have some slight sensitive issues with certain fruits, but it wasn't that bad that I couldn't even eat tomatoes or onions. Like, because anything onions, like, because why? Because they're very high in fructose, guys. In case you didn't know. Sometimes I do. I'm like, oh, I wish I could taste the tomato again without any stomach problems, or oh, an onion, nice. Yeah. But weirdly enough, it doesn't, like, I can't taste. It's weird. I can't really taste it. In a way, I can taste it, but I can't taste it because it's like not good to me. Yeah. What else? Yeah. I mean, sometimes when you're attuned enough to your body, you're gonna be able to realize that, oh yeah, certain things do like just are there. It's the same thing as cravings. Certain cravings, you're just like, what was it? What was it? When you're craving something sweet, what was it? Oh, I don't remember. But basically, certain cravings that you have also have certain meanings, right? They're just not randomly there. They're there for a reason to signal to you, to your to your anatomy, biologies, all that stuff. This is signaling that, and this and that, and this and that. Um. So that is why you gotta also listen to your body. Okay. Listen to what it's going to tell you. It's very important because it's, as I said, it's your health at stake. Um, and not only that, but if you do realize something, you gotta advocate for yourself. You gotta keep your own promises, I would say. Not promises only, but also boundaries that you keep. It doesn't just mean like, oh, hey, I don't want this, what you're offering. No. You have to say to yourself, I want, I only eat what I can um stomach, like what is good for my stomach. And even if I, for example, even if I eat something that wasn't good for my stomach, i I don't want to be hard on myself. That would be a boundary, for example, because what is good is there for me to be hard on myself because I had something that I cannot eat. I do have a solution, like taking lactose tablets, but it doesn't really help me much, actually. Sometimes it does reduce a little bit of the pain, but it's still there. It's really very apparent. Um, and a few other things. Fructose, I can't even like find anything for that. At least not without going on online shopping. And it's really annoying. There's so much fructose in so many things where I'm like, why does it even have fructose inside? Why does this even have fructose? And most of the drinks also filled with fructose. Maybe I need to like listen. The other thing is I really like herbal drinks. Okay, herbal drinks. In Germany, there's a lot. We do have a lot of herbal drinks, or like Europe, I would say. Europe has a lot of like herbal drinks. I think this is an Austrian one. Austrian, okay? Österreich, not Australian. Austrian, okay? Um, it's called Almdudler, and it's a herbal fizzy drink, and it's very nice, really refreshing, very light as well, smooth in its way. I do like it. It kind of has a little bit of a ginger ale kind of taste in a way. Um, well, for example, ginger ale, or like ginger drinks. Not everybody know first time, or like what is like this is a very German thing. It's Holunder. It's Holunder is what is it in English? Wait, let me check. Oh, it's I forgot about that. What's it called? Elderflower, elderflower, elderflower drinks. I think that's a very German thing, actually. At least for me, that's a, I that's how what I grew up with around me. I do know it's a very European thing. um, I um, yeah. Otherwise, what else? Yeah, there's a lot of herbal drinks that I know of, but there's the thing about the fact that nobody actually offers them. I do understand it's because it's not the most marketable thing, but the thing is, it's also not the most accessible. Because most of the time, when I see these type of drinks, they are in glass bottles, and they are a little bit more expensive. Um, than even like I don't even know how much. What's the most expensive water you can get here? I think even that would be like at least almost €2, which is this, almost the same as like a herbal drink. Which, as I said, is quite something when I'm thinking about it. Yes, I do have this. I have these like workout thingies, but I don't know. Like I bought it once. It was on sale, and I don't know how to use it. Actually, I've tried it, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this. I do like this long one, but the shorter ones that have more resistance, like this one, for example, I'm not really a fan. But maybe it's just the way I don't know how to work with it. Because sometimes some things, it's not the fact that they don't work; it's the fact that you don't know how to do them. I see that way too often in any type of review. I'm like, guys, please, are you sure it's not also because because you don't know how to use it? For example, jump rope. Everybody knows jump rope, easy peasy. But the thing is, I do know that there's still a little bit of technique on how to jump rope, right? Like, like this, like this. Like, should I hold it like 90 degrees or whatever? Etc. All these type of things. Um, yeah. I have a jump rope because I have, first of all, what a childhood thing to do. Second, I actually wanted a trampoline. But then I was like, nah, I have no space for that. Let me just use a jump rope. I mean, of course, I could have just not used a jump rope at all and just jumped in just without any equipment. You don't need a jump rope, but I think it's nice for the coordination as well. But yeah. Oh, I forgot. So, yeah. Anyway, and when you take away the bad things for your health that are stressing you more out or not helping you really, I know. Yeah, something cute, sweet or salty is a nice thing to have as well, but it's also not helping. Or like eliminating the fact that the certain things that cannot make you sleep. Or for me, example, it's the fact that I'm thinking about a lot of things too much and I need to move a little bit slowly by doing things. You can add something by saying, okay, well, first of all, most important thing is not being too hard on yourself, simply because certain things are not working at once. The other thing is to add maybe some things that could help aid in a short while for your health. Because, for example, I think also the reason why I'm struggling just a little bit is because I am not taking my magnesium, which is very important. I don't really take it I don't know why I keep forgetting about it. It's right there. I keep forgetting about it. Like some supplements for a certain type of period of time, right? Some things are very nice to take them for a long time, but some you don't need to, like, you know, take it for forever. Yeah. What else? What else can you add to your health? For example, taking a walk in nature, sitting down, just taking a whole day and doing nothing, laying in a bed, doing the bare minimum of chores, you know. And also adding to the fact that you need to take a mandatory rest day. Okay? I know it's hard for people who always need to be moving around because of some past things, blah 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 blah. I know it's hard for people that I do not want to dismiss you. I'm just glossing over it. Because I could say so many things right now. But like I know it's hard for people who are like, yeah, I can't like, you know, but you have to. As I said, it's your life at stake. There's no playing around with it. As said in a very I don't know why it's been impacting me quite a lot, but the song lyric of "Beat It" by Michael Jackson, I was like, damn, these words, damn. Anyway, yeah, I mentioned it in one stream already, but I don't think there's any records of it because I didn't realize that my streams were not gonna be archived or whatever, like put on. So I don't have it. I think. I don't remember if I do, but whatever. But yeah. Let me put this somewhere else. Okay. I need to sort my bag. Cause see, I have a bottle, just an empty bottle, which reminds me I should drink some water. Hydrate, guys, hydrate. I think. Do you want to know what's in my bag? I have so much stuff. I have way more stuff usually in my bag than whatever this is right now. But for example, sunglasses, a little pouch with some things for overnight, emergency stays, like face cream, body, like deodorant. What is this? Ah, this is makeup remover, a tiny little toothbrush, just emergency stuff, which I carry there's a few things that I carry with me that are just basically everything. Like band-aid stuff and any type of medication. Uno cards because you never know when you're gonna be bored. Some disinfecting spray, towel for whatever. Power bank, of course, which maybe I should charge it. No, it's fine. What else? What do you have? See, lipstick, which should not be here. And just a bunch of other things, honestly. My keys, of course. Okay. Yes. Which is broken, and I put a rubber band on, like, around, and now it's like. Anyway. Here is also just knickknacks. This is knickknacks. And beloved Mark. I do change the PC, the photo card out sometimes, but right now it's just Mark. Mark. And here my little trap in the Neo Juice bear. So yeah, my bag. I don't know. For now, it's gonna be here. And of course, my keys. Ouch. There's another bottle. But yeah. So the third thing would be, of course. I guess I just packed that up with my feet, okay? Did I have to point this out? No, I don't think I should have. Yeah. What is this? What is this? By the way, these type of like towels, I mean, you can just use a t-shirt, but these are nice. I like them. But yeah. What about third one? What was the third one that I wanted to say? What was it? We have social health, like physical health in general. I think the third one was supposed to be you, like your reflection of things and just living life and taking things a bit more lightly. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. You've got that. And it's fine to complain. It's fine to be like, oh, I can't. It's too much. Yeah, it is too much. For the moment, it is. It doesn't mean that it's too much in general for you. Try it. Keep going. You will get it. You will. But it's fine, as I said, to complain and be like, oh, I can't. It's fine to validate yourself. You are very much allowed to feel safe within yourself and be like, okay, I allow myself to feel these type of feelings, sit with them, complain about it, about my situation, about everything else, and then we can take a deep breather and rest our body, help it heal in some way, and help our mind to rest and our mind to heal. And then we can go and party and yeah, these type of things. These type of things. Anyway, we're gonna rip. I have these magazines. I'm so listen. I'm so sad about that fact. But there's a stream that I did 2 days ago. At this point, and I was like, I didn't realize. I didn't realize that the video, the VOD just kind of vanished. I don't know what happened, but it kind of like it just vanished because apparently whatever I had as settings weren't active anymore. Whatever, it's just kind of weird. But I was talking about what was that? What was that? Oh, I was like, what was that? My light turned off. So I had it on as a timer. I was like, what was that? Yeah, I think it's time for me to go to sleep. It's like almost 8 a.m. It's almost 8 in the morning. Okay, half an hour and let's go to sleep, okay? Anyway, I realized that my stream was gone. And I was like talking about books and magazines and whatever because I was going through my stuff, just like whatever I'm doing right now. So that's why I'm ripping out pages from magazines that I'm like, why do I even have them? Because they're literally kind of these magazine flyers that you can grab at like any type of store because they have it's marketing and whatever. But you know, sometimes I miss them. I miss the fact that some magazines had like samples of like, perfumes or whatever inside. Yeah, yeah, good old days. Anyway, yeah, I will rip them out because I do collaging, and I not do collaging, but I also just like the scrap paper. Okay. But for this one, I saw something nice. Is that something worth keeping? No, you can't even see it. It's fine. Hee hee hee. You can just hear me tear apart the pages. Yeah, but I would say these are three things that are very important to keep in mind when it comes to like you actually thinking about your health, like your mental health, especially. It's very important as well. And it's funny that I'm saying this because sometimes I just forget myself, okay? Sometimes I just forget it about myself because life gets so busy, certain things get busy, and you kind of forget. And it's very important to get a reminder, to be reminded by certain things, by certain people, even it doesn't matter the circumstances. It's very important. Do not push that away from yourself. You're not gonna do yourself a favor. And I know that you need to validate your own pain in this way. As I said, your life is the most important thing. In many, many ways that you wouldn't think about. Not yesterday, sorry, 2 days ago in the stream, I was talking about like all the magazines and books. I was talking about how I have so many different things. As I said, variety. Okay, I'm very interested in many things because I believe that knowledge will expand your world in ways that it's not just like you know, you're more cultured, whatever, you can communicate more with people, whatever. It doesn't, it's just not just that, it's also the way things make a whole piece of you. Puzzle pieces come together. You collect not even just puzzle piece, but you collect certain things to put it into your own little gallery in your world, right? Not a gallery, but just a collective of things, your archive. And they make out quite a thing out of you. And the best representation is your own room and the materialistic things that you do own or are able to own. Because not everybody is very fortunate to have a room for themselves or their belongings or everything else. But for example, I have so many things here. Like, yes, it's I could say it's 75% close, 25 25.99 crafting stuff, art stuff, anything creative, and the rest 0.01% is just mission legend stuff, just random stuff, literally. Like books and any type of merch stuff or decorations or things that have melancholy um written all over it. But yeah, that is quite a percentage, by the way. Um, yeah, even if I were to give it to you as a certain type of data like this, you would still not know like, oh, what type of style of fashion, what like what type of colors, what type of cuts, what type of like fabrics. You wouldn't know what type of like crafting creative stuff, what type of like miscellaneous stuff, blah 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 blah, like what type of books, what you wouldn't know the details. But for example, like it reminds me of when I was shopping for some magazines, just because, you know, I bought like a batch of magazines, like a very random batch of magazines, extremely random, to the point where um the cashier was so curious and asked me, like, I'm like, she was like very friendly, like, excuse me, can I ask, like, why do we have so many different like magazines? And I was like, oh, I just like it. And there was the easiest example I could give her, of course, not example, but you know, the easiest thing I can just generally give her. And the reason, the long one I can give you, is the reason is exactly this, of me being able to expand my own world, because certain things make up me, certain things influence the things that I work in. If you do art, if you do creative anything, there's no such thing as simply just one thing and one thing only. An artist, like even a rock artist, a metal band, whatever, pop star, like whatever, it doesn't matter. An artist that paints the painting, a poet, a writer, somebody who is in marketing, somebody who is innovative, somebody who's any type of entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. You have so much material that works into certain masterpieces of yourself. Every type of work that you put out there is a piece of so many pieces of the things that you have collected in your entire archive. That's why certain things you need to be really open about, because you will not go further with whatever you have created and want to keep on creating and stuff like that if it's not for you expanding everything further and further. Whether it interests you or not is very important, to still be like understanding, to be inspired by certain things. Yes, certain things just work because it's one way thing and way thing only, and it's fine. Nothing bad about that or whatever. If that's you, it's gonna be you, right? So, and I'm just talking about some people that probably understand me as well, in a way of being like, yeah, okay, expand your world, do whatever, because yes, I like things that are themed. For example, oh yeah, fish theme, whatever, or I'll just say like very specific picnic themed, very romantic, or what I mean, as like, what does romantic even mean, right? Because people think about like hearts and love and whatever. Like you know that romantic is also a certain era that was there before the Gothic era, right? Was it the other way? I don't remember. But yeah, such things. And I see them in a lot of things that I make. For example, for example, K-pop idols. They have a lot of certain type of bands have a lot of concepts for one thing, or different concepts for one thing. Some just have one style and that's it. Listen, and some have a style but still different things working into it. For example, best example is NCT. They still have NCT sound, but the thing is, they still have a very distinctive change of styles and homages to certain things, to themselves even, you know? Um, yeah. Anyway, I was talking about that because I think that's very important to know. Consume not just the media for your own entertainment and the likes of you, but also consume things for everything outside of you, out of love. Because things need to be learned, they need to grow. Certain things, you do them suddenly and you're like, oh, I never thought I would have been able to do that. But you were able to do that out of where? You know? Um, yeah. Yeah. No, I ripped it. It's fine. I didn't rip the beautiful pictures. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe I'm stream. Maybe I'm gonna end stream in a bit after I'm done with all of these. I'm gonna end stream. I only have 2 magazines left. That is. So this is what I meant. You know, these ones. This is the Alverd from the M, which is a German drugstore. Which is I love it. I love it. Sadly enough, but yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, oh. I guess I took that out. I mean, it is an old magazine. Ooh. I once had a conversation, as in, like, one time, a very old friend of mine asked me, Horizon, what do you think about print media? What do you think about news, like the newspaper? And back then I was like, I mean, I guess it's both things. It's kind of unnecessary because of digitalization and like the progressiveness of what this was a long time ago. By the way, this was like more than 60 years ago. And I was like, but then I also said, like, yeah, but at the same time it is important because it's more accessible for certain people, and maybe even journalism or whatever. I don't remember what I said, but I do remember the fact that I did say 2 things, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure right now. And it's funny when I think about it again, because I'm like, yeah, I still think if I were to elaborate on it again, I think it's important to have print. It brings certain communities together. It's very analog, right? How you say that? It's very hands-on. It's very, you feel it, you see it. You can interact with people better. It is accessible for people that do not know how to use any digital device, not advisory device, and such. But at the same time, do see that it's better to digitalize things because it's too much like paper stuff. Just look at this. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Maybe I'm gonna make like, there's also a project that I have in mind. I wanted to make like, I wanted to weave something, or maybe make pearls out of it, because you can make paper pearls, paper beads, paper beads, or anything else like that. Maybe art, whatever. Or just, you know, funky paper, recycled paper by blending paper and stuff like that. Let's see. I have too many projects. This is the most annoying thing, honestly. Yeah, but I think I would still stand by the fact that I'm like, many facets. There's no such thing as saying straight up it's not necessary to have no print anymore. Especially in a time where we have a lot of AI. This is a no AI zone, okay? There's no such thing as AI here. You know what? This one, I don't know. I bought it and I don't like it. That's why I'm like, okay, whatever. How much did I pay for this? Wow, I paid for it 12 euros almost. That's crazy. I should have looked through it beforehand, like properly. Wow. But it's fine. I see why. It's because of the photographies that I saw that I was like, oh, I want to get this. And it was an art magazine back then. It was relevant. Not like it wasn't. Alright. Here, and the rest, well, the rest is gonna be the rest. I wanted to go to 2 hours, but I'm gonna end it now because I'm about to fall asleep standing. Anyway, yeah, I think if I am, where is it? Here. Yeah, I will stream today again. Just maybe tomorrow. At a certain point where I am actually properly awake. Anyway, that was it for now. I will see you in my next stream or next video, whatever will come, and we'll see each other next time. So see you when I see you, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Ah, bye bye.